Okay, I believe we're live. So, hi, my name is Stacy Kimbrell, and today we're going to be talking about good fats and how 60% of your brain is good fat. And we want to make sure that you know what a good fat is, how to get it, and make sure you get enough. So, once again, 60% of your brain is built on fat, although it runs on glucose, which is sugar. And this is a very, not white sugar, okay, just but runs on glucose, let's say. Um, that's another class, another topic. But it's very crucial for your overall mental health, stability of your body, your bowels, of course, the brain. I think it's like back in the 70s, everything was like no fat, um, no sugar, everything went artificial and no fat, which was like one of, to me, the most damaging things that could have happened, which I believe personally is a huge reason for Alzheimer's, dementia, and of course, cognitive issues. I have a great friend who has nursing homes, and they did a study with that back in the day with just giving people extra 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, organic, unrefined coconut oil. And just by doing that and getting the good fats that someone needs, people were built better or had better cognitive function. Okay. This is one of the main reasons. I have two main reasons that I'm can cognitively think better. Doesn't sound like it right now, but speak better, is because of the good fats that I consume. My Ninja Red, which is a liquid antioxidant powerhouse. I've been doing that for 13 years, and the good fats has made a tremendous difference in my whole ability to function cognitively. So that is exciting, and I promise you will help so many people. When I was in Europe not too long ago, whenever I go to a different country or somewhere, I always seek out natural medicine doctors to see what they've been doing. Most of the time, they're not all the way into Western medicine. So, like, what do you guys do for diabetes? And what do you do for this? And what do you do for that? All that kind of stuff. And learn from what they've been doing natively in their island or whatever. And when I was in Greece, it was so fascinating. People are like, individuals consume a liter plus of olive oil per person per month. Now, we know here in the States that people, generally speaking, do not do that. And a lot of times when we're going to, unfortunately, which is one of my favorite foods, Middle Eastern, they're not even using olive oil in like the dressings and the stuff that we would expect, because it's more of an expensive oil, especially if you get the good kind. It can be canola, it can be all these different things that to me is not a good oil, and it's not a good fat. Therefore, we should not be consuming it as much as possible. And so it's really frustrating. And even like, well, side note, but what do you call it, lady fingers or whatever, when you have the baklava, and it's supposed to be honey between the layers. If I have one of those, I can just tell instantaneously if they use high fructose corn syrup, because it just makes my throat all weird and scratchy. And that's what prompted me to ask the question. I'm like, hey, do you guys make these still? And they're like, oh no, we get them in. I'm like, there's something wrong with this thing. They're like, oh no, everyone says it's fine. I'm like, no. So what's the ingredients? It says it's got to have like polyethylene or propylene glycol in it. It's got to have high fructose corn syrup. And of course, when you go and check the ingredient label, that's what's in there. There's not even honey anymore. Okay, so this is like why we have to learn and read these things, because it makes a huge difference in our overall body. Like, there's no reason why I should get a scratchy sore throat from eating a dessert that should be pastry, nuts, and spices, and honey, real honey, because honey has many benefits. So nevertheless, that's what we're talking about today. I just did a video on water the other day, and I did one on vitamin D. Vitamin D is going to be very crucial, especially with good fats, because if you don't have enough vitamin D and good fats, then you cannot make hormones naturally in your body. So you need that combination. You can watch that video for all the stats. I have a great handout coming. It's not done yet, but it will be on that link as well, so you can have access to that. And this is something that you can have your vitamin D level and your cholesterol level checked by your doctor, so you can learn about what the correct number should be. Even if your overall cholesterol number is very good, if your HDL is low, which is your happy or your good cholesterol, is low, and your LDL, which is your lousy or bad cholesterol, is high, and so you have an overall good number, that's still not a good situation because your HDL needs to be higher to help with your cardiovascular system, your brain, cognitive, everything. And your LDL needs to be in the level of where it should be, which would be lower for the recommended amount, right? But most of the time, HDL is low, but your overall is good. So they say you're good. That's not true. Okay. So you just want to become aware of that. And good fats, once again, are just so important. Oh my gosh, even for a baby, when you're really thinking 60% of the brain is made up of fat, we have to get good fats, and that does not include Oreos, just so you know. I mean, if you're going to have an Oreo, have one and enjoy it, but don't count that as your good fat, okay? Let's see. So we need it, especially for memory, cognitive, as we just said. Obviously, your digestive system help to lubricate that so things can eliminate correctly. And so, one of the big misconceptions about good fats is that you can get them from your nuts, and you can get good fats from your nuts if you're buying the right kind of nut and doing the right thing to it before you eat it. So this is going to be a hard one because most of us don't do this, but if your intentions are to eat organic nuts and do all this and you still get a stomach ache, you're probably wondering why. Well, just so you know, and I'll post this information, it takes almonds 7 hours to be able to digest, to be able to get the good fats and the protein from that. But food is only in your stomach for 4 hours. So that's a problem, right? What else is there? Walnuts need 7 hours to actually be soaking before you should eat them, is what I'm trying to say. So, if you're not soaking your nuts before you eat them, then you're most likely not getting the recommended daily fat intake from them and the protein associated with what you should be getting, especially if you're buying the right kind. When you buy nuts, it's always best to buy soaked and sprouted organic nuts, especially if you're buying peanuts. Like peanuts, you shouldn't even eat unless they're organic because they spray them heavily with fungicides and other things, and they have a high mold count. Okay, so if you're buying a better one that's treated the right way, it'd be a much better choice. Where like tree nuts, they usually don't spray tree nuts because, I mean, it's hard enough for a squirrel to get into it, right? So bugs don't usually penetrate those unless they've already fallen to the ground and someone's cracked it open, but getting it fresh off the tree is different, okay? Regarding fish, you always want to get cold water or wild caught. If it's farm raised, it just doesn't have, like they literally have, if you go read the package, which I love salmon for, of course we know salmon should be like a pinkish kind of color. You'll see that it says color added or color was in the food because most farm raised salmon is gray because they don't have the good fats. They're putting antibiotics in there. They're in a little tank with their little chemicals and all this kind of stuff. It's not good. So as much as possible, you want to get wild caught. Whenever I see that, I buy as much as I can get at that time, put in the freezer, do whatever so I can enjoy those fishes. The best choice omega-3s is going to be salmon, sardines, anchovies, mackerel, shad, herring, trout, tuna, grass-fed meats, of course. If you're not a meat eater, then flaxseed. But if you're already buying flaxseed ground up, that's not the best choice because you want to be able to grind it yourself so the fats are released right then. So if you just have a coffee grinder, I don't believe in coffee, but a little coffee grinder works exceptionally well, where you can have a coffee grinder and then grind those up, put them in your food, on your salad, in your shake mix, whatever you want to do. Hemp seeds are fantastic, great fat, a great omega-3. Pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, sesame, walnut, Brazilian nuts, avocados, dark green leafy, including kale, spinach, collard greens, not the kind from a can, so not those, okay? We have some great supplements that are as well, and that's Omega-Gize and MindWise through Young Living. I'll talk about those in a second, Spirulina. If you're looking for omega-6s, then you want flaxseed, hemp seed, sunflower, safflower, borage, evening primrose, black currants, ghee, which is clarified butter, and coconut oil. A lot of Indian folks mostly use that kind of stuff, but I love it. I have been using it for years. Seed-wise, it's flaxseed again, hemp seed, grapeseed, pumpkin, raw sunflower. Nuts are going to be pine nuts, pistachios, akashi berry, raw milk if you're doing that, butter, cheese, kefir, eggs, good fat ones, duck eggs. If the yolk is like this color orange, that's what you're looking for. If it's like a pale yellow, that's not good. Best omega-9s is going to be olive oil, which you always want first cold press olive oil. I don't have my label, but it's in here. But first cold press olive oil, because olive oil goes through 4 presses. Avocado oil, if you're getting that, or avocados, sesame, good olives. It's hard to get some that aren't in cans because, of course, you don't really want a can. But the brand is like Lindsay, I think it is, are the best ones if you're going to get it in a can. And of course, if you go to Mediterranean stores or restaurants, you usually can buy it by a pound or whatever you want to buy it by, right? Pecans, cashews, pistachio, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts are great other sources of omega-9. Through Young Living, which is important to me, this is MindWise. This is what I gave to my grandma when it first came out. And I said, hey, grandma, grandma passed this last year, but I'm telling you, she was 79 when we learned about this, and I actually learned about it because of grandma. And she died at 92 or 93. Forgive me, I forgot. But for the first 8 years, we got her off all of her prescriptions except for one, which is totally incredible by all of the lifestyle changes in diet, not just MindWise here, right? And MindWise wasn't even here when we first started helping her. But the inflammation went down. She was able to wear her rings. She didn't get vaccinations. She was only taking thyroid or Synthroid because she had been on it for 50 years prior. We were able to help keep her immune system where it needed to be and not get sick. I mean, a true testament for someone who's in their 80s to get off meds and live healthy. And I mean, it's just amazing. But when MindWise did come out, I don't even know what year that was. I just gave some to grandma. I say, grandma, I want you to take 2 tablespoons of this a day and just let me know what you think and feel. And she's like, I really like that stuff in that bottle. I don't know what it's about and what it's for, but I love it. And I said, okay. So let me tell you what I'm allowed to say, because remember, we're governed by the FTC, which is a Federal Trade Commission, so I'm not allowed to tell you everything, unfortunately. So this is where you need to become your own health advocate, or we could talk on the side if you need to. Let's see here. It has CoQ10 and vitamin D, supports normal brain function and overall cognitive and cardiovascular. Let's see, brain and heart function. I'm allowed to say brain, cognitive, heart, cardiovascular. Okay. Has a sashi inchi in it. It's a huge exotic, good fat as well. And it's just, MindWise is something I take on a daily basis. Doesn't taste too bad. I love it, and we use it. So I just mix it with my Ninja Red and my other good fats. Something I really like, and if you've taken MindWise, please comment below how it's helped you and your family. Hold on. So other folks can know as well. Make sure your stories are compliant. Okay, olive essence. This is a small little tablet right here. One of these capsules is equal to 1 liter of olive oil. And it's just amazing how well this works for people. That this is a new thing, like the last year and a half, perhaps. And people have started taking this, have noticed a huge difference. Remembering that most of us have a dehydrated brain. And it should be like the size of our fist, a little bit bigger, of course, because it's fatty. But because of the dehydration, it's like shrunk down to the size of our fist. We need to plump it back up with where it needs to be. This is a fantastic supplement. The hydroxyterazole from the phenols comes from olive fruit and olive leaves. It also has, oh goodness, what was it? Rosemary and parsley in it for the benefits of which that helps with intestinal cleaning and maintaining your normal healthy immune system. What I'm allowed to tell you is it helps support the vascular and heart health, helps to keep a healthy immune system, overall body wellness, and it's just a great olive oil. It comes from Spain and it's extracted with water, so there's no chemicals to do this. It's a great supplement. It's 1 a day. If you don't need that much, you can do 1 every other day. It's inexpensive and it's such a great product. I love it. Omega Gize is something else I used to give my grandma. And this is a liquid capsule. And you can see it's liquid. It's pretty. I don't know. I love color things. Supports cardiovascular, the skeletal system, normal brain and heart function. It's critical EPAs and DHEA nutrients in it. Helps to support overall immune response and antioxidant levels. Promotes normal healthy eyes, skin, and joint health. And then promotes emotional well-being and supports general wellness. You have to realize that a huge reason for even depression and that kind of thing is a lack of good fats in the brain to function correctly. So good fats are going to be very important for you to get for your whole family. Doesn't matter what age, and especially growing young brains. We need to make sure they have enough good fats. My husband always told me we need to give the kids good fats, but I'm like, all right, I got some Oreos for them. But I had no idea about health and nutrition back in the day, and of course, that does not help build a good foundation. So we have the opportunity at any age to help fix and restore this. So that's a blessing. So no matter where you're at, and if you have my book, it's called Living Balance. It's on health and nutrition and chemical awareness. There's a whole good fat section on page 131. And it goes over, which kind of olive oil, which kind of coconut oil to get, because there is a difference. You always want organic, unrefined coconut oil, because if they refined it, they took out the nutrients for you. When it comes to olive oil, you want cold press. That's very important because there's 4 presses, and most of the time it's adulterated with soy oil, and we don't want soy and don't need soy oil. So we're trying to stay away from the hydrogenated oils that are not good for you. Let's see, where's my document here? I had the unhealthy oils to avoid, which would be margarine, hydrogenated oils, partially hydrogenated oils, other trans fats, cottonseed, canola, soybean, grapeseed, corn oil, very damaging to your health, and most vegetable oils, because it's adulterated. Most of the time, a vegetable oil is going to be soy. Avocado oil is great. I love the fermented cod liver oil concentrate. This is from Green Pastures. You can see that Green Pastures has great stuff. They have the ghee, they have the coconut oil. You can buy it in like 2 gallons, all that kind of stuff. Cod liver oil, can't say it tastes the best, but it's very good for you. And then there's a huge cheat, and I'll post a link to it. You can even get it on Amazon, but it tastes delicious. A little too good to be true, but I used to do this and bribe my kids with it. And that is Bartlett's oil. And they have like a lime and a lemon. This stuff tastes like crack. It's delicious. So I said, okay, you take your spoonful of this, and I'll give you a spoonful of this, which is another good fat. But of course, there's more good fat in these products, but that was my... that's what I bribed them with, and it worked. And I'll tell you one last thing. This is how I make up my good fat treats. And so like this one is like Steve's kind, let's say. So I have a whole bunch of sesame seeds and nuts in here with orange and cinnamon and coconut oil, unrefined, right? And then I put it in trays, and you can freeze it. Then you can just put it in the refrigerator. And of course, this one's mine because I love anything chocolate mint. So this has like mini chocolate chips in here. And then it has a lot of peppermint because I love peppermint, and then coconut oil. So you just can take a little bite. I got someone here who would love to probably take a bite. And she hates when I do that, give her the coconut oil. But anyhow, this is good. And if you get a little extra on your hand, you just can rub it on because it's all good for you as well. So it's all good. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll be posting the handouts for this. Good fats, make sure you get enough of them, and have a blessed day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.